The least that we can say about Starfield is that the hype is huge for this upcoming title, and that fans have high expectations for Bethesda's space-themed RPG, myself included. In fact, I might very well create more Starfield videos than anything else on this channel once the title releases, if it is as good as I hope it will be. Of course, as I am writing these lines, we are still 3 months away until we can get our hands on it, but Starfield Direct is coming up next weekend now, and this dedicated event should give us a better understanding of the scope of the game, and so in this video, I wanted to share with you my top 5 wishes for this upcoming event. Hello and welcome to the channel, it's Irad. As I mentioned in the introduction here, these are my 5 wishes for the upcoming Starfield Direct, and we will begin to talk about planets here. As you probably know by now, Starfield is going to feature a large roster of worlds for us to explore, up to 1,000 according to the studio, which does sound incredible for an RPG, and so one of the concerns that people have had has been the quality of the planet themselves. How has Bethesda's procedural creation tool created these worlds, and how do they look, as well as what difference does handmade work on these worlds make? So far, we've only had a brief look at the moon of Crate and also the city of New Atlantis, which, with some additional very brief shots here of other worlds, but too short here to make a deep dive analysis. So I hope that we'll get to see more during Starfield Direct, including a look at how we land on those planets, how the different procedural generation elements blend in, and what we'll be able to do on these planets, including mining, hunting, possibly mapping. I would also love to see the impact of gravity here, what impact gravity has, as well as the different atmospheric composition that we will encounter, and also if we will see some different weather effects as well. Next, I would like to know more about the game's economy. There's just no way that a game like Starfield won't have a dynamic economy where we can buy and sell goods and transport them from world to world. I mean, we could assume here that it's a feature of the game because it's basically a feature of any other space game right now. I hope that we can see how trade lanes work, how they generate escort missions or transport missions, and how you can hijack a hauler and steal it, steal whatever it carries perhaps as well, and what the repercussion on the prices will be. We know that some goods will be illegal in the Starfield universe, so I suppose that perhaps we'll be able to specialize in smuggling, and I wonder if there's also going to be any mechanism for local security forces that can scan your ships or arrest you for contraband, or perhaps we'll be able to assist local authorities to do that. I hope that we can have a glance at that. And this leads me to my next wish for Starfield Direct here. I hope that we can learn more about outposts. What will their purpose be? Will they play a role in the game's economy? Will they just act as a safe house, or will they allow us to generate game entities? We already know that crafting will be a part of the game, as we'll be able to build and install modifications for our weapons, and we'll also be able to design our own ships. But what about production that can affect the game's economy? I would love to have a facility that produces food or medical supplies or construction material, things that the game's economy needs to thrive. I would even go as far as wondering if NPCs will also build their own outposts. This could be a great way to add life onto those 1,000 planets that we'll find in the game universe. Now, of course, all of this is wishful thinking. I don't know if these outposts will be anything more than a glorified safe house. In fact, I've never played a Bethesda game before. Starfield will be my first one. So if you are familiar with how Bethesda game work, well, also please let me know in the comment section down below. Alright, the next element that I hope we'll hear more about are NPC companions. Having a fellowship is something I've always enjoyed in an RPG, but the caveat with these companions is that there are always limitations with what they can do while they are with us. So, for example, here I want to know how many companions we'll be able to bring with us in our adventure, and I would also be very interested in knowing what those companions will be able to do with us, what things that they can bring with them as well, right? And also, I want to know what they will do when we will not bring them with us. Would it just be sitting there doing nothing while we spend time without them? If so, perhaps they will be using their own ship. Maybe they will fly one of our ships. I don't know, but we know that we will be able to hire NPCs as crew members for our ships or as staff for our outposts. But will there be a difference between companions and crew, or will they be more or less the same? Will we be able to pick anyone of our choosing who is at our service? I think that Bethesda here needs to clarify how all of this is going to transpire in the game. Last but not least, I would like to know more about ship classes in the game. So far, the only ship that we have seen have been the pirate ships and a possible player ship, or at least a ship that was custom built in-game for the purpose of the demo that we saw last year, and that's basically it. So far, Bethesda have emphasized a lot on the story of the game as well as its characters, but they barely touched on the ships that we'll be able to fly or encounter, nor have they talked about some of the activities that we'll be able to do in space for that matter. My hopes is that we get to learn more about what ship factions have, and also what characteristics are those ships. Are they ships that are going to be specifics from one faction? What separates a faction from another faction ship-wise? Will they have distinct fighters, distinct capital ships, or even style? Will all freighters be more or less the same, or will they come with differences based on the nature of the cargo or the wealth of the operator? Perhaps I'm asking too much here. Perhaps I should be lowering my expectations. After all, Bethesda is doing their very first space game here, so maybe they will focus more on the ground aspect instead. I guess everything will become clearer next week. And so, these are my top 5 wishes for next week's Starfield Direct. The presentation is expected to be 2 times longer than the one we had last year, so I think it's reasonable to expect the studio to be more in-depth here. What remains to be seen here is how deep, as well as how much they can cram here in 30 minutes. Our Starfield is expected to be a huge game after all. With that comes the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you would like to know more about Starfield, if you'd like to know more Starfield videos here on the channel, well, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you liked this video, also please let me know as well by smashing that like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more dailies. I've been Irad. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all a great day, and I'll catch you guys later.